Our dear followers of the Youth Avenue, we almost welcome again. Thank you for subscribing, following, and liking, commenting, sharing, and everything you're doing to support the youth and promoting the youth voice. Today I've come with prominent youth leaders here. They are all leaders in the youth community, the youth arena. They are all leaders of Kabale municipality, and they are so prominent. I'm going to start with the introduction as usual. You know me, the host, Niwamanya Sunshine, and I've come with all these great men and women. I think we're going to start from the lady as we go to this side.
By names of Namalaki, I work as Vice Chairperson, Southern Division. And we have association, Kabale Youth Empowerment. I work as Treasurer.
Thank you.
My name is Kevin Ainebiona. I'm a Youth Councillor, Southern Division, and Deputy Speaker, Southern Division.
Thank you. Sir.
Yes, thank you so much, sir, to have given us this great pleasure. Manzi Abdurrahman is my name. I am the Secretary for Production and Works, Central Division. At the same time, I serve as the Youth Councillor for Central Division as well, and the Secretary General for Kabale Youth Empowerment Association.
Thank you.
I'm by names of Bashir Abdallah, the chairperson of the young people of Southern Division. And I do serve as the head of welfare within the Maite Association of Kabale Youth Empowerment Association.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sunshine. Mr. Nasia. The focus is on Rico Dam. And I happen to be the chairperson for the Youth Kabale Municipality and also chairperson the Youth NRM League. I also work as the chairperson Kabale Youth Empowerment Association, and I also work as the chairperson Southern Northern Division.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for honoring my invite, all of you. Because as the youth leaders, we ought to do what benefits the youth. Politically, economically, mostly economically, because for now, the economic arena is taking over. Yeah, from our political arena, we have to do whatever it takes to make sure the youth are benefiting economically, then social and politically. Today's thing, I would like us to talk about, because we've recently been talking about the loopholes in our leadership as the youth, where we saw that the loopholes are both on our side and the government, the side of the government. So it is an anenda to Gambe the things we can change in the youth leadership arena, the things that we have to change, or the reforms we have to revanish according to those ones we found there. Abenyuma bakire bataratamishwa muno kandi biri so crucial mutwabikwata mitwe nka youth members, youth leaders. They can make a difference in our youth, these new youth leaders and the other outside youth about to tell Karu. So what are those reforms that we can tackle? We turabasa kukwatamu tukakwatamu, then boosting the youth energy and the youth voice, the youth capability and everything. We are going to start, I think, with the General Secretary of the association.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. And depending on the fact that you have already elaborated the gearhead of the discussion that we are going to have today, and of course, as youth, I can say that we have the biggest population percentage in Uganda. That means the most focus should be put on youth engagement, youth empowerment, and youth economic development. In that matter as well, the reforms that I, to my own thinking and expertise, I see that would be better and would bring together youth towards economic development. One, depending on the challenge that youth are experiencing. The first one I think is financial literacy.
Okay.
And of course, based on the fact that most of the youth, they are being trained, and actually the government has tried to put up several platforms where youth can have financial literacy training, where they can access the information. But furthermore, youth should be, it is one of the reforms actually that should be done. In a matter that once youth are involved in decision making, of course youth themselves, they know what they are passing through. They know the hindrances, they know the challenges that they are facing there in the field. Of course, when they happen to get a platform where they can happen to be the decision makers of what can traverse or what can change their lives, then it would be a better move towards their economic development. Secondly, we know that, of course, Uganda is a well-structured country. There are leadership stages, and for example, an area like Kabale, it is a hidden area. That means most of the youth, generally, they are not engaged in agriculture. Depending on the terrain area of Kabale being hidden, it limits the availability of land where the youth could have practiced agriculture. And now, what the youth should do, it is to diverse or to reshape, and they take the business direction. Which business am I talking to? Because youth, mostly we outcry of their capital, right?
Yeah.
We outcry of capital. And there are several interventions that youth can engage in that don't require or don't demand a lot for startup. For example, I can give you an example of a mushroom project, let's say. A mushroom project is something that can generate finance on a regular basis once it is well and clearly established. And an area like Kabaret is a developing area, and of which I expect that mushrooms are on high demand and they are easy to be controlled and managed.
Yeah, they actually need little capital because one kapak is 3,000, and you can get more than 5 kilograms from there once they are grown very well.
Exactly. And based on the fact that we are in a place, we are now, for example, in a municipality.
Yeah.
You can't do agriculture, you're not going to dig, you're not going to do what. And in your home place, you can get where you can set up like a small place for a mushroom project. It doesn't need much. And on that as well, the youth also, the youth reforms that should be done regarding economic development, I think it is access to finance or availability of funding, youth funding. The government has tried to put up projects like the youth livelihood. We have the interventions like the PDM, which is general. It is tackling the youth and the elders, the old population.
Yeah.
But in this concern, of course, as youth, I don't know how the government has tried to take measures of tracking the performance of these projects to see whether youth are benefiting or not. This is a big question that needs to be answered. You might bring a project, for example, the youth livelihood. I recently actually got information that Kabale is no longer having a budget for Youth Livelihood Fund. Just because the youth that were the beneficiaries before, they didn't comply with the rules that were abiding that project. For example, like payback, they were given money but didn't pay back. And now, if at all the government decides not to provide those funds again, that means the youth who would be benefiting from the project, they are not going to get anything, based on the fact that the funds will not be available.
Yes, I get you. I've had that thing.
Yeah.
Me too. I had that thing of youth livelihood. I don't know whom we are going to talk to when we reach to the council.
Yes, please.
Or one day we shall invite someone in the bigger position in the government or in our leadership to talk about it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Let me shift to Mr. Council, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Involved on decision-making bodies.
Manzi has talked about the government funding the youth, youth taking part in agriculture. What could be what could be the reforms that you suggest should be done in the youth leadership by us, the youth leaders, that benefit us?
Now, I want to first thank my colleague, Mr. Manzi, for some good words, encouraging the youth, sometimes encouraging the government. But to me, I want to first thank the government. You know, in Uganda, a youth is someone between 18 years to 30. Now, when you say what the government should do to someone between 18 years to 30, economically,
Yes.
the government has played its role.
Okay.
It has brought to youth livelihood. So some people who are benefiting are no longer youth. They are aged between, they are not,
They are above 30.
they are above 30. They are not in between the age brackets of the youth. Another thing I want to thank the government has brought on this thing of hands-on,
Okay.
new curriculum. People are studying welding, people are doing bakery, people are doing carpentry and joinery, tailoring, and later it needs a startup capital which is a bit small. Everyone can start carpentry, someone can do welding, and he earns something. But again, the government is failing to do one thing. If it brings in such thing of PDM, youth livelihood, and it fails to follow, the people who are benefiting, they are not the youth. And the project is meant for the youth. Now the government should look for the ways. What can we do to make sure that our youth are benefiting from these projects? You hear Seven said, Sanja channel sleep. When you go outside, the youth are no longer sleeping, but they are not earning. Why? Things are expensive. You can't be a youth of 29 years and you stay with the mom and dad. No, you can't. You're riding a border, your fuel is too high. You want to put 1 liter, but then when you're going home, a bar of soap is at 9,000. Will you manage to take it home? That's why I say the government, when it's making its program, should consider the youth. That most of the youth are too poor. They can't manage. And if someone is ready to manage, is disrupted by the bigger people. Someone is benefiting from youth livelihood is 39 years. Someone of 20 is not benefiting.
And yet
But
we,
the
youth, are
government
not
there is
benefiting
aware
from
that
there.
there is youth livelihood, everyone is getting. My colleague has talked of rearing like goats, rear like chicken. He has said that Kawari being in a hill area, really, you can't rear a hen. A kilo of mash is expensive. A hen itself, to purchase it,
It is expensive.
is expensive too. So me, I just say the government should bring in other projects. You see, Kawali had what we call iron ore,
Okay.
but now it's exported to some other districts. instead of bringing it back to Kabale and the youth benefits, it's taking it somewhere. Another thing,
Actually, a point of information on that matter. The NOR project, actually, what you're trying to target at, I think it's youth employment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now the ONO factory, if at all, it happens to be set in Kabale, then of course automatically the youth will get employed. But then if it is taken outside Kabale and the mineral itself is in Kabale, that means we are losing.
Because
and another change is one. So youth will get employed. There is this thing we call connection. Without a connection, you are not going to get an employment. Still stay home. Then if the government puts in a law, we want qualified people to work in this factory, they follow up, then most of the youth can get employed.
Yeah.
But just they say iron ore is in Kabale now, you find someone from Gulu is working from Kabale. And Kabale people themselves, they have the same qualifications, but they are not working.
they are actually more alert,
They are
more
now
qualified.
they are more qualified.
That's what I was talking about last time with I think Joseph or someone. I think it was Stuart. Stuart said nowadays job opportunities for us the youth, they are price tag. We are like, our jobs are like in the supermarket. They have a price tag. You're going to apply for a job, they are giving you 600, someone is going are they the PR? About a medium.
Public relations.
Yeah, public relations.
Human resource officers.
They are telling you first pay 2M, yet the job is for 600. Your job has a price tag
Another
there.
thing youth we are facing politically, during politics we are using too much. After politics you can't call someone, he can't feel. They use another time when you are in need of someone you can't help. Now, during the last year's campaigns, most of their programs were made for youth. But now in the budget,
The youth are not there.
they are nowhere. But wait for another 2031.
They will be there.
They will be there. Within the 2 years towards the elections, now they will start bringing in such projects for you. They cover us, afterwards they leave us. Now, I want to say the government, these politicians, no, youth will cover a lot of population in Uganda. We are the majority. You've started a farm. It's not in Kabale, you are in MP of Kabale, but your farm is somewhere else. Employ the youth. Towards the elections, you want us to help you. After elections, you will know it.
That's what last time I was telling someone, once we are branded, we as the youth here. They are not, when someone is coming to see the youth, you won't first look for 2M to come with the money. We want to be calling those people.
This the Kabale Youth Empowerment Association. Now few people are in. Towards the elections,
They will
those
be
are special presidential advisors. Now they will pass those as associations. But now by 2027, it will be known. By 2031, the Youth Empowerment Association, it will have gained moral boost. They will be in need. They will transport them to Kampala. They will eat. They will get money. They will be back.
and yet they are
But
not
after
facilitating them
elections, you can't call. You had some good plans for the youth. But we are hoping maybe the man is coming.
now. Wait.
Last minute. I think they will bring those projects they used to tell us. Otherwise, the government should follow up the youth programs. They should make sure that the program meant for the youth are gaining. Another thing, the youth, kindamanye kintu kiriho. Waba lero munye tuti nkolera. Nomanya it's for 1 hour, you are gaining 5,000. Someone wants 20,000. You yourself, you don't have the 20,000. Themselves are becoming too expensive. Emenyeto tuleke kuzarawa umurimo gwesha emwe gw'50 gukore zahandi ukore gw'50 zahandi ukore gw'50 n'ubwo okubura you already have lunch for the 5,000 instead of kuzankuto ukatambura nyensakarene ya 5 zo mu film kugizayo zabura zikakubura. Youth tuleke kuzarawa emirimo tukore tutirema amani tukundane through love. you get a connection.
Yeah.
And through connection, you're promoted to great heights as a youth. Ekindi eminyeeto tutirukirira ebintu by'ebbeeyi. Omwana yaruga Kampala agiire Timberland, uri Kabale togiheruka, now you're in need of it. The way of getting it, uri kuza kwejumba omu mirimo etaboniire. Twiyeho akaharara. Wamanya ngu orunaku nookora ebiri, ojwara bagigare yakakaaga. Gumwe n'inane zaawe. Plan it to buy those cheap things, gure cyana cyempunu, gura kugana bw'enkoko, masho getariho ofure ebinyaasi, uguze amahuri, handi acuguze enkoko yawe ofunemu.
Ojware Timbara.
As youth leaders, kagurupe gyabo tuzakwatanisa n'eminyeto. And me, ekibiina tikirimu, but now I will join.
Yeah.
Konka after joining, I want us to push it harder.
Yeah.
We tackle those political leaders who use us through elections. After elections, we are nowhere.
Actually, this
We want
thing,
them to be back.
this thing of using the youth, I want it to be stopped, because
Now,
someone plans for these football matches.
Yeah.
They bachiraga kutaho.
Yeah.
You find someone, Joseph is contesting for member of parliament. He brings Joseph Cup.
Joseph Cup.
That thing of promoting talent, Mbo is promoting talent of youth just once in 5 years. It should stop, really.
It should stop. And
If he
another
wants
thing,
to promote talent, let him go to. I've never seen anywhere these MPs and such supporting Ababa Chigezi Homeboys or other
No.
teams. You never find their brand.
during the
But
political issue,
towards the political season,
he pays.
Yeah.
Everyone enters for free.
eh,
Afterwards, no,
you know,
they disappear. Now, eminyeto bareke kutwejunyisa. Nibatwejunyisa bachafunamu batweke. Now,
Batuna
our
guy.
leaders in the association. No, last time we met in NTC, the crowd was big. Big people came. Batugambira ebigambo birungi kwahagarukwamu amaani. But later, you can't find one. Mr. Joseph, our chairperson, I will join you soon. Icyo kibiina, you invite those political leaders ababene batwite ubwo bwiru. Ebi mwaturaganisize hatibira. Itwe twatandikiye tituginde. Tukabatayo,
the requirements they ask for it, zona ziri.
zona ziri.
Abana they have tried to
Batugarure mamaani.
Eh,
Otherwise itwe nk'eminyeto twatwine ekyo kukora njani wonoora emico mingu omunyeto bakagukwata ngo nigwe basora zifitemu amakanga. Imagine you are on risk of falling. You won't even get the money you wanted.
bashobore bakukwata.
Bashuye bakwate. Now emirimo nkejo bagigarure kuno. Eka kukwata omuntu wa aruka muto mu famu yawe. Kwata wakaba aruwa kushingireho muto mu famu afunemu. And you are not helping the one person, you are helping the family. Akwana wenye naramubuze sabundi, then you will have to buy it. Ajimwe.
Webale munonga speaker katuze hari.
I would thank our moderator for hosting us so that we can share with the whole nation our personal problems within the youth leadership na n'ebindi. First of all, ebintu bimwe ekiratuma ebintu bimwe by'eminyeto bya falling down, it is cause of our leaders. The leaders whom we are having, they failed to be trustworthy. Upon voting them, they promise, if you hand me the district chairpersonship of the youth, I'm gonna do such and such and such. And then after elections, those very leaders whom we chose, whom we voted, and then they disappear. Arabali mu Kabale upon the time of Galenda Karuru. Kandi hata Karuru kahwa abo munyakampala. Chumanyisa nti yabo munyakampala na n'ekintu kyachoyijire hanu yacho ku benefiting omwana wa Kabale wala aze kukikolesa as a personal gain. That's why orale ebintu ebyo bya youth livelihood bya falling apart within Kabale district. Ahaba those leaders bakatwala that money, instead of repaying it back, zabaguma nkai zabaguma mu nshaho. Now you don't expect the government to give you another money, whereas ezibakwire tuwazikozesize, and upon that no accountability, and even tuwazigaruizeyo when the time reached of you to repay it back. So mweno government tutajegamiza omushango as such, because government tries oleba take all these presidential initiatives. Ebyo bintu biriho kwegesa abaana abalabasa kuze welding, tailoring na nebindi ninyeteraza yeshome, and upon that really it will have to thank the president for that initiative.
But another thing, Mr. Chairperson.
Yeah.
Another challenge. Someone is studying hairdressing. Now he or she has built in certain kiosk in town. He or she has studied a salon. Now the kiosk is taken. The little startup capital he or she had is now down. Where do you expect that is to go?
And now, when you talk about that, and then my mind shifts on this order of trade order. It came, yes, ijire kwa kakando wera singa kunyiga no munyeto. Because me as Bashir, think ajizire man go kuombeka a permanent structure. Eyo kukorera mukimanyisa nti nandabasa kutekaho omudala gwa chapati. I start from naho kujombeka naho nangwa. Yes, you might have a space where you can build that building which they want, but your earnings can't manage or can't allow you to set up that building. Na nemishoro.
Mr. Bashir, it means the money the government is giving to us, that man of youth livelihood, over it's 1 million. That 1 million, you've brought in a kiosk. Now a kiosk is taken. You no longer have that 1 million. How will you pay back so that the government brings another youth livelihood money to other youth?
But I think that for now, till nobody the center that is right.
Zikisha.
Some good.
Some
Now,
good.
members,
Yeah.
that is what I tried to elaborate in the beginning, that the fund was available in covering youth benefited, though they failed to comply with the rules that were portrayed with that project. And as a matter of fact, that's why I was saying that one of the reforms that should be made, it is to track the performance of those projects. If at all those youth fail to pay, is it going to affect the entire generation? Or the government should adjust and see how the youth can benefit, regardless of the backward performance. Now, you never know. There might be change, of which the youth are ready to. So that's why I'm saying that they shouldn't neglect the project because the youth failed to comply.
Actually, some youth.
Anyways, we don't have to, we don't have,
all of us.
yes, some. And actually, we don't have to, blame the youth they fail to pay. I again bring it back to the government. Which measures have they taken to recover back?
On that issue, I think there are some defaults in the system of the leadership, even in those positions in the government, whereby you find someone is given a job in the name of connection. You are given an office, but you don't have the skills and also the knowledge to run the office. For example, you are given an office of CDO.
Chairperson, Southern Division.
Now, politicians, our honorable
You just assume the office, but you actually don't know what you are supposed to do in that office. That's where the youth will come to get that fund because you don't know what you are supposed to do. You will not follow up.
just carrying a tight.
So that brings up some defaults in the system of the government. And I think it's something that is very dangerous.
Now, concerning that issue, we take a lot of time in education. We study, we purchase degrees, we purchase masters, PhDs, but at the end of the day, in Uganda, what matters, it is not your studies.
Yeah.
No. what matters in Uganda is who knows you. Nuhura kumanya. Uraika hantu, you present your papers, thinking that you may get that job.
Because you seem to be the best.
But at the end of it all, they will just ask you, who sent you?
The problem is what? You have your master,
see.
you're going for the work. The one you're presenting to, your papers, has a diploma. He or she was connected. How he or she was employed.
And then he or she will just ask you a question, who sent you here?
Now, all that thing, what to do is the government should fight corruption. Another thing, what is the government should do? Youth now, abana beje. Umuntu ayina imyaka 5 is still in the office. Now doing what?
And the office later kuboli active.
Active. At least they say above 60 you retire. Another fresh mind enters in. Ni ubundi hota hamu munyabuza roganyibo. But now the system is dormant. I think the government should run their system. Bakule system yabo. Why sinyaka nkaga system ikwiyira. Another thing is every president aliyesire n'ibironje ebya presidential initiative. Wayiga urudin. Seta za yose live uri uzabura za PDM uzabura. Hati urudin no za gitanikiranga. After 2 years na urudin no tachajiju. So nyoni njanti nabu government eri kwegesa omuza presidential initiative kugira ngo ezisete za youth livelihood ezikwate z'umwana ni kwate ya ni half years or set zigabanisema abana babi abejiro gumwuga bagende baze kutana rather than putting this is an office for youth livelihood apply someone is applying to his her aunt ati wonazikwa nazo umunyabuzana. So, presidential initiatives, see the schools, government take a message. At least umuntu yamara umwuga gwa saloni muhime twarasha agenda tanki azikuye.
Mukane chindi maya turagira game ishoro. Last time I was chairperson umushoro ni mwingi akora urazaho ocajyaho kanso yije. Kanso amara kuba
sunshine. Nemishoro yetabireho at government setting.
No, emishoro tituri kugira ngo bagiyeho. Konka as a youth naija katandika ko ka business kanje ka let's say kebishwani. Photo shoot and everything concerning photography. At least ati nibwe nakatandika ebintu byone binatiremu I use the money. Think hiremu actually na half years. Think as because as think I chena amago kuzikora capital inatiremu. So me I would be of a view wakora akanakeji ka business ka government ekwemu yaguli mwaka guno because they are giving these investors they are tax free.
Point of information, Mr. Shanshan. The Taxation Act of it provides for a tax waiver once the business starts. And actually now, this turns back to URA. This means that people don't have information in the public. They lack tax information. Because once you start a business, you are entitled to get a tax waiver. Either 6 months or a year, depending on the size of the business that you have started. And I'm very sure, if not mistaken, URA has been doing so. It is not that they tax you once immediately you take up or you start up a business. And actually, on the other hand, there are thresholds. Like there are some taxes that you're supposed to pay after you have accumulated a certain amount.
Okay.
When your business grows, then you pay tax. If it's not yet, if it's still in the young stages of its development, then surely I'm sure URA, it gives a threshold. It gives a tax-free period of like 6 months to 1 year.
Then
Unless they are not doing so, or the public itself is not informed.
then
But it is prescribed in the act.
Then I think one, they should inform the public. Two, some officials of the URA are becoming a problem. Because umwana nibwo yatandika there is umwaka gwabo gwogajali.
It is a financial year,
Yeah.
30th of June.
Yeah. Once you're closing to the financial year, nko mukwaka na mukwaka 5, you find them coming. Barakutera ekipapuro cy'umwaka gwera. Ubwo shange business wagitandikiye nkanyo mwibazo. okabwine noogu bije bakugire bo babara omwaka guri kuwo kwa mukaaga umwaka oine kushashureza. So I think they should be a little bit concerned of how when the business has started kugira batwe that tax free period yeje emyezi mukaaga bagikuhe niwobole iyo ramanyangwe emyezi mukaaga yawo wowe du ne kulete sente z'abandi. Linet ni watugambire what reforms should we do as the youth leader?
Me as youth and my fellow youth, we should work together and we should work hard because there is certain group, like certain youth are just there, they are drinking alcohol, so they want like youth livelihood, like I want money for PDM, but after giving the youth that money, he or she can get like 50. I want to buy this, I want to buy this. They don't want to consider I should like harvest something or konka after giving them money, I have some boyfriend. So yes. So for us we are thinking we should work hard, but there is certain group just they are saying I want that money so that I okchakala. So we should encourage those youth. We should work hard together to be successful.
Yeah.
On that issue, that point of my sister, I think the youth, not only the youth of Kavari, but also the youth Uganda Kirali. I think what we need as the youth is financial discipline, whereby when you get that money for PDM, for youth livelihood fund, really you have to be disciplined financially. One of my fellow youth told me of a story where one of the youth got that money for PDM. I think it was 1 million. And for him, when he received the money, he had to go to one of the hotels in Kavari here. Actually, one of the expensive hotels here, where one pays around the Mikari Kumi. So, Ogomutakanja, Ogomunyeto Kamara Yonka. Ka wiki yon and really when you consider the reasons or the that is not one of the goals. So as the youth we should consider the goals for this money.
Another thing, okumunyeto hamwe kahiki because umuntu omwe woku habura icyo gukora nawe utakakushanga umuka, therefore in those big hotels.
But you can't say that the youth was right.
No, that's the youth.
No, you got
No, but before even that, before reaching on that stage, you must first consider what's the essence of that money. Why did you get that money? And also I think what is lacking is the sensitization of what the youth are not educated. For him, when he receives that 1 million, he thinks that money is to be used to take alcohol, to buy big. So really,
now concerning that issue of that PDM money, one, before applying for that money, first of all, be with the aim and the goal before you apply for that money. Because
sometimes what the government should do, in our parish chiefs, instead of giving someone 1 million, even the government have got you 1 million otamang ijikaka anjitemente. Hachiri parish chief na chairman ero si one their task bagumeni bajireho. Hachiri yazara aguza umwana. Akwa waho umuntu 1 million umwana bamubinjire fees.
Mr. Kevin, on that point, things are totally different. Because if you cannot hand 1 million in cash, which means even if you are given a cow, There is that possibility that you are going to take it.
hariho n'ebyo n'ekyo ekya cows and what, there is a village around, it is in your area southern. Obu this woman Honorable Ndamira was still our MP, akatire mempunu, and each family was entitled to get chana chempunu bakikuze chazaala, you bring over half of them ozigarulireyo, then nazo bazigabire ki nkaho oshangaga omuntu yakuze empunu yazaala yabagira ngu yazire ebi ninga kimwe kiwo kimwaka.
Ndamira had tried ahubwo ko je ngona emupogiremo namukuratirira at least omuntu yayine empunu muka naguzaho kamanyu ninga manyu yahingire nankanka nkembogo mu kibuga azitaho ku kamanyu kunko umuntu wama 1 million n'empunu tari kujibu. Depends on what the problem someone is having. Now umuntu wama 1 million ayiniriho nazagura empunu.
Now, Mr. Kevin, there is a way on how you look into things, but at times they are so different. Because we being on this panel, we deliver different opinions. But now, concerning the money, I was on the point of being with the aim and the goal before applying for the money. Now, we should catch the government is a loan. You can apply for a loan, for a business loan, whereas you're not having any business. Yes, hati woyishe otwale sente zompaho ohinechora singaho turi hamwe konkiwe mpo kugira katwale zo sente wotine kigendererwa kiryaho cyo kugira nti nywende ndakweyombeka ninga shit plan for my future. Izo sente oraze kuzikwato zikoze se byawe, at the end of it all oraze kuza kweyishukiriza izo sente cyabasa kuzigaruzayo ande cyawe bari kuchitwara turi hamwe. And now twagaruka ha issue ya Mr. Chairperson, tumusigaza kagenda ya applying that PDM money, we yija yajitunga that money, we after getting that money we aza mu hotel kushira turi hamwe. Before takarebire zo sente ekigendererwa cyanzo nikiha ejo niyo baga point nkuru iwe cyacu wa maroka zikoze soba wazikoze soba wazikoze such that is your problem. The point that matters most olikuzayo if it was kweyombekiwe nkomuntu and whereas afterwards was the komu hotel warundo bomukazi wa warundo your boyfriend wachiri. At the end of it all it will be you who will suffer. No. Because abo kuhereza that money they did their job.
What can we
they
do?
did their job, and then bakuhereza center now it applies to you.
So what can be done on that? Because tomorrow they are actually going to vote for new parish chiefs and things. What could be done about that money? Because orashanga omuntu ba mu sente million.
Now, Mr. Sunshine, the major issue now is on the assessment. Before that money is given out, it is the task of the parish chief and the community development officer to do assessment and determine which people are going to benefit. And regards to the youth, that's where the chairman brought in the financial literacy. If you're not, literally well regarding finance, you don't have plan, you don't have anything that you're intending to do, or if at all you've received that money, what are you planning to use it for? And that information can be received through financial literacy trainings. That is what forms as, access to financial service information. One, that is the financial literacy trainings. Then your community engagement. You engage the youth. They be trained on how they can access the funds, what is the use of the funds, and how are they going to benefit. If at all the funds are available, does the government need the payback? Is it a free donation? So clear information must be distributed to the population in order for them to get the exact intention of them themselves and the government itself. Because the government is trying to fulfill its mandate, and the mandate must be fulfilled with a clear performance of the population.
There is a certain problem in Uganda. You call the youth. Wamweta yaikoshaisha tu wamwegesa ekyashemere kukola. Omuntu otamwiriza okutahana.
Now that brings us back to mindset. It is not that every youth will ask for, that car allowance, that what. But of course, the mindset. That is why I am urging the youth out there. Mindset change is key towards your personal development and what you benefit as a person. When you set yourself in a position that you're looking at or you're targeting something, then of course you must achieve. One great man said that the only way to know what man can do is what man has done. You as a person, what have you done to strategize yourself in a position that you're going to benefit in any matter that comes across? Now, the project itself is available, but the question is, are the youth ready? Do they know why the project is being brought on ground? That brings us back now to financial literacy. You see, the whole thing rotates on information dissemination.
Yeah.
How do the youth get the information about government projects? How do they get involved? And now that is the role of the government to portray that information to the youth on how they can benefit from the projects. And if at all youth leaders are engaged in decision making, then they must bring the youth on the table. They know the true and clear information. They know the challenges that the youth are facing on the ground. That means the decisions that will be made, automatically they portray or they will satisfy the challenges that are being faced on the ground by the youth. That is why I urge the government to engage youth in decision-making programs. They engage the youth in budgeting. Note that only professionals are engaged in the budgeting program of the country, but as well, youth leaders also should be engaged in budgeting programs, because at least they will deliver a leaf in planning for the youth. That pushes us to now the engagement, the real tarmac program now. How are the youth going to strategize themselves or set yourself as a youth? Yes, the program has been delivered. The funds are availed. So the youth also should put themselves in a position to use well those funds, and they realize the benefits from those funds actually. That is why I'm saying that now the mindset comes in. You are the youth. You set yourself in a position that you don't look at an opportunity as a disadvantage, but look at it as something that is going to make you to make a step forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Manzi, our General Secretary for the Kabale Youth Empowerment Association. Actually, you've been talking about mindset change. I think that's the motto of the association.
That is actually a motto of the association, mindset change.
Yeah, we are the pioneers of mindset change.
Yes, because now, actually, this association plays part or is partial of the reforms that should actually be made. If the government happens to empower the youth through organized financial groups, for example, this is under control, that means there will be easy accessibility to funds, and it will actually reduce on the bureaucracy tendencies. Mr. Speaker talked about the corruption. That means if at all the thing or the whole program is youth-led, the corruption which is brought about by the bureaucratic tendencies and the long-term taken process is going to be reduced. That means automatically the youth will be benefiting 100% from the project.
Yeah, because
it being on the ground.
I think the association
Yeah.
Because once president usually targets associations and organized groups.
Yeah, that's
That's
bring
where
us.
he invests in where his things, because at least when he puts that money in the association and the association plans to make up some project that benefits the youth.
Yeah, sure.
Let's say you've made up a pig project or poultry.
Yeah, sure.
Even those youth that are not educated, some of them will get jobs from the association. They will be the ones to take care of the project and every other thing.
Yeah, and that is why actually one of the mission and the vision, it is to empower the youth of Kabale financially, economically, and socially. So through the association, and of which I really raise my voice to urge youth out there to come and subscribe in the association, because once you are together, once you are a team, then you can achieve beyond your expectations.
Of course.
That is what I can tell you.
Because I recently realized that a strong youth of Uganda, it is going to be a strong
Yeah.
future country.
Yeah, of course. And of course, being on the basis that Kabale is actually big. Yeah, Kabale is big. And the youth being covering the biggest percentage, then we must unite. Once we unite, we gain strength. And once we gain strength, that means our voices must be heard.
Yeah.
So I conclude by calling upon the youth to position themselves, set up or clear out your mindset towards development, set up and clear your mindset towards the programs that are availed, and have a plan in your mind. You have a direction. You must have a direction, because once you're even given the funds or anything, once you don't have the direction, then there comes misuse. And once you misuse it totally, you lose off. You're off track.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time, all of you. I think we are going to conclude and we go to something else. So I'm going to start with Chairperson to say your concluding remarks and finish up this.
Thank you so much. You did give me some time to give out my book.
It's okay, you can give it now.
Give it in summary.
Yeah.
So much, I'm a man of too much words. Yes, but it's quite an interesting topic that we need to talk about. Loopholes in the youth leadership. It's traced way back from the top leadership positions. The government, as you know, the government is made up of 3 organs. That is executive, legislature, and judiciary. Any default in any of those organs, it automatically leads to any loophole that you have seen around in the youth leadership. The youth leadership are governed by the National Youth Act, National Youth Council Act, which I think it was quite well and good to come up with such act, because as youth we should be under the law. All the things that we do should do them under the law. But in my view, I think that act or those laws are just there for ceremonial. They are just there ceremonial, yeah? Because what is provided there, it is not actually what is done. For us as the youth leaders, I think our positions are also there, just for ceremony. Because for now, we are having our council, Central Division, and also I'm the chairperson,
Kawale
Kawale
Municipality.
Municipality.
We have the council
But
and the speaker here.
there is no defined power that the chairperson is supposed to do this and this and this. So me, I'm just there. So I'm holding the position.
It is only
And it's totally different, because you find that the youth that voted us into those positions, for them they are expecting
They are demanding
service,
for
and they are
accountability.
demanding service, and of which for us as the leaders who are in those positions, we have nowhere to begin from. Last time I was talking to, we had an interview, and I was saying, for us to be functional, it has to be start from up. Whereby, for example, if I'm the chairperson and I'm holding a position and I have an office, why should I be there when I don't have any salary? Because I must do things that give me money to put on the table, to pay rent, to do what, to develop myself. I think that's a big loophole that the government or the parliament should discuss actually and change or amend. Let the leaders have specific powers, specific functions.
Association, the Kabbalah Youth Empowerment Association.
Because we have seen only the youth are being used in election time. Whereby during election you are on demand, but after elections they throw you away. You are not needed. But if we had maybe specific powers, specific functions, we could give ourselves some value. Because if I'm holding the position, I know I'm very much sure that I have no salary, which means if I'm supporting a particular candidate, I have to try by all means to also get some money during those
days.
kyamenyetereta oruseke eminyeto nyingi during election times they participate kandi barakozesebwa munonga. So ngira nti leka eminyeto tukeyema ku kantu twehe value as youth leaders kogana government tukwatireho kugira if you have our chairperson, for example, if Bashir is the chairperson Southern Division and you are saying that you have given them PDM money and the youth are supposed to take up 30%. So on that, the blame is not on the government. You get? The blame is on amending on how that money should be distributed.
For the youth.
We are saying that if we have an executive led by the chairperson, the youth, let the portion for the youth be handled by the executive. There we shall see that now the youth are functional. We shall see Bashir, who is the chairperson Southern Division, participating in government programs, hence being motivated, hence being, another loophole I can talk about is sensitization, as my colleagues have already said. We lack sensitization. For the government, it has put interesting programs, PDM, Youth Rival Fund, but the youth down in the villages. Because for me, I may be sensitized because I stay in the municipality, I stay in the city, But there are some youth there in the village who do not, because when we are mobilizing for the president during election, we had to go to we went to Ndogwa East. It is quite, they have some villages. I had a number of the youth that were approaching me. They never knew about, actually I had spoken about PDM money. It was their first time to hear about PDM. And they were asking me, even those who knew about PDM, when they could approach the parish people, they could tell them this money is only for old people. For old people. You get? And yet youth take up 30%. They're actually the biggest. They're supposed to achieve from that PDM actually more than other groups. But we have lacked, how should I say, truthfulness in our old leaders. For example, you are 50 years and you are sending away a youth whom you are quite sure that he or she is supposed to benefit from that fund. So really our elders also, this shifts to our elders who are holding those positions. The caveat was the Miringo Eri, because we are having leaders and they expect youth to be violent. And this time around we are saying for us as the youth, we shall not use violent means. We are saying that we shall use the means that are respectable. You get? Such that we can raise our voices and our voices be heard, but through peaceful means. The other regime, the outgoing regime, I think for them they have a record of using violent means, whereby even at one time they had to get some firewood and went to the NRM office. They were demanding for some money, and that money had been diverted by the those leaders in the office. And what the youth were doing to some extent was not bad because they were demanding however, they were doing it in a violent way. But for us, we are saying that we shall use peaceful and diplomatic means. But let also those elders respect themselves. And also, the loopholes also, they are traced way back during elections. They begin from there, whereby you'll find that the politics of Uganda what? Birime sente, bakabitame sente muno. They are commercialized. So, babyurudinga muminyeto mind y'urusente. Ato muntwarija ya esimba, for example, we have as you had already said, we have Kabale Youth Empowerment Association. During those days, that's when we launched the association, and we had big people to attend the launching ceremony. You know, we had different ministers, we had contesting MPs, the flag bearers, NRM, we had the RDC was also there. But now, if you can call the RDC, like we have another function for the association, there are very few people who will appear. As an association, we are planning to have a drive and a campaign for saving a friend. And I had to take an initiative to communicate some of our MPs, and it is absurd that some of them were like you could send them a message, he just brought it. Yet during election, even before after sending the message immediately, he calls you like 10 times. So really we are saying that let's have some feedback from our leaders, let's be supported by them. They might not support us financially, but we need them on our side. If we are running an association that is benefiting all the youth, and we are having those MPs by our side, we really feel motivated and we really feel secure. And let them not be far away from us, because we need them as we develop ourselves. Because for us as the youth, we are not yet on the stage of sustaining ourselves. Because, for example, our elders. So we need our MPs, we need our chairpersons, LC5. We also need the president. Actually, I credit president on supporting the associations. President is actually one of the presidents that loves the youth so much. However much the systems have some defaults, and you cannot disregard that. Another thing is, because if you have the top leadership that is corrupt, if you have the top leadership that is not of cream, of quality, we shall continue to suffer as the youth who are down there. Municipalities, youth on the district, the youth on the sub-county, youth on the parish, we shall continuously suffer. For example, the top leaders, they are holding their offices, as I had already said, they are holding the offices and they don't qualify by following the law. If they don't qualify, automatically we shall continue to suffer because we shall not have quality leadership. That's where actually corruption begins, because he knows that even if I am corrupt, no one will push me out of the office, because this office was given to me by my uncle. No one is going to demand any accountability of the office. So if that one is not worked on, I think it will also continue to bring some challenges for us as the youth.
Mr. Chairperson, conclude.
As I conclude, of course I had much to say, but I have to conclude. Bajanguno hinjira horo. Araisogira yungu. Konka ngemu ndaronda no kuna conclude ngakuburi. Ekindi wasta kugamba nikugira nti emenyeto katuronde ebintu bira tuyunifyinga tukateka hamwe kugira ngo if we raise our voices bihurigwe uramayira ka rirengira mu ntonge irahurika kusinga ryo muntu. So we started up an association, and it is of my view, and I call upon all the youth of Kabale district to subscribe to our association. Kandi bije bacejumbiremo to be vibrant as Kabale youth. turenda ngu ubwo murundi ekisanja ko president yakigambye n'ekisanja no sleep twase president kugira tumuyambeho omuntu ngu kandi nikyo kemenyeto ninga nkaba youth leader setting legacy. Thank you so much. As we are here, how many of us have like 50k? We cannot feed, we cannot support.
Yes, thank you so much for this wonderful show. I think the youth out there, once they listen to this, they'll try to pick a leaf at some point. And as we conclude, I add a voice to my colleague's voice. We are calling or we are appealing to the government to reshape the youth leadership structure. Let the structure be empowered, or let them, they reshape or they do reforms in the leadership structure, and then the leaders also will deliver to the general population under the ground. So I as well appeal to the youth out there, focus on what you want as the youth. You set up goals as a youth. What do you want? You have a plan in your mind. That brings you back to our motto of the association, which is the pioneers of mindset change. And of course, I also add a voice on inviting the youth out there to come and join. They subscribe to the association. And of course, as a joint force, we must achieve beyond the limits. Thank you so much.
1 minute to conclude, Mr. Speaker.
I want to say thank you so much, Mr. Sunshine, for the great work done. Promote the voice of the youth. It's really good. I call upon all political leaders. They should talk on your business because you're promoting a voice of the voices. I, Kevin Aineviona, my Youth Council Southern Division, together with my chairperson, Bashir. I also take this opportunity to say I will subscribe to the Cavalry Youth Empowerment.
Thank you.
I call all youth in Southern Division, follow it up. I have a certain aunt, Nebamweta Kimbaba's Christine. Akachira gafonjera tiwe yeshunga techoma kigyakuleta. Indeed, all political leaders abutwatire omuntu ebeze mpango abatwinisize munonga bakafuna ekibali kwenda. Ekyoma kitakabalesere I call upon mutugarukire mwerere because we shall have a lot to ask. Ugiye kubuzo bicyari bice mwerere. Otherwise, I want to say hi to my fellow youth of Southern Division, to my fellow youth of Cavalry Municipality. My chairperson, thank you so much. I want to appreciate the good work done because and I want to say thank you. Keep it up.
Yeah, I thank everyone. I thank everyone who has been supporting me through this thing. And this show is proudly sponsored by Kira Stent and ATV. I want to have a photographer. Olende bifani byembaga ebirufu ejachi buli kimwe. Namba yabo ni 0787225206. Olabenda abiyaho wamuterera ikalafu kwati omugambire ekintu kyone kiretaga kamera abaliho. Mwebale munonga ndasimba mwena bali subscribing baka following baka liking the likes of Rita, the likes of all of you mwena ndabali bagamura watching ebintu byintu. Yeah, thank you and thank you again.